Good morning, everyone. This is Sherry Minnie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Kingsburg, Colorado, which is a small rural farm community about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. And as hard as it is to believe, I'm actually getting my video done on a Tuesday this week. My schedule kind of calmed down for a few days, so I was able to get prepared and ready to do a normal Terrific Tuesday card. So today I'm in keeping with my masculine theme, which is what I'm going to be featuring for my August classes. I have another kind of generic card that can be used for any occasion, and it's minimal supplies. There is a few layers, but not very many supplies. And it's just kind of a thinking of you today card. So what we're using, and these are all current and in the new annual catalog that came out in June. The stamp set we're using is Courage and Faith, and this is, I love this set. I'm glad they finally came out with a set that had some very nice Bible verses on it. And for our greeting on the inside, we're going to use Hope You Know, and it says Thinking of You Today. For our dies, we are using the deckled rectangle dies, and we're actually using 3 out of this set. And I usually kind of start numbering mine from the very smallest out. And so we're using number 2. If I can get them out here, I've been using them a lot. Number 3. And number 4. If I can get them out. Okay, there we go. Those are the ones we're using. And then we're also for the little to dress up the front a bit, we're going to be using the basic border dies. And I didn't bring the one over that I'm using, but it is this one here that's kind of the zigzag edge. You can see that here on the card. See how we got the zigzag. And for embellishments, we're going to be using some of the adhesive-backed solid gems, and I'm using the copper clay ones. So to get started, move all this out of my way. We are going to have your packet envelope. You will have a thick thick basic white card base. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and this is kind of a what would you call this, portrait style card. I don't do these a lot, but I wanted it for this. You will also have a piece of designer series paper. This comes from the 2325 in color 6x6 designer series paper, and we're using every design there is, and this is all of the new in colors for this year. And so you'll have a piece for in the copper clay. You'll have this piece for your envelope flap. You will have a piece for the front of your card, and this one measures 4 1/4 by 5. And you will have another piece. This one is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. Another piece that is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. You'll have a solid piece of copper clay cardstock. This one is 3 by 4 1/4. You'll have an inch it needs to be 4 1/4, but I've actually cut it longer. And then you'll have a little piece that's a 2 by 3 to do your stamping on. So the first thing we're going to do is, and did I bring it over here? No, I did not. Already I have to take a quick break and go get me a paper trimmer. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your card base, and so we can get this treatment right here to show both pieces of paper, we're going to shorten our top layer by a 1/2 inch. Okay. And that makes it only 5 inches long. Okay, and then we're going to take this piece of designer series paper and we're going to attach it right to the front of our card, and it should fit pretty exactly. You may have a little bit of an overhang, and I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal plus, no, actually this is just straight Stampin' Seal. I'm going to use that. And we will just line it up at the top and down along the side. And if you have any overhang, which I do have a little bit, you can just take your scissors, or you can even do your trimmer if you want to. And we will just cut that off. And I have a little bit on this side. I'll see if I can get this cut off. Hope you all can see what I'm doing. Try not to cut any of your card base. There we go. So we have those two little things taken care of. Now, I'm doing something that I don't normally do on a video. I did bring my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because I want to show you how I did the, what do I call this? The zigzag treatment on the bottom. So I just lined it up with the bottom of these zigzags right along the bottom of my card base, assuming that that would be pretty straight. I tried to line it up this way, kind of even with the way where the zigzags ended. That's not real critical. It's just me being anal. Okay, and then I will bring in my Big Shot, and we'll see if I can even get this in this machine, in the picture. Don't know if I can. I might be able to. So you have your platform and your other machine, and then you have to need one more plate. Need an acrylic plate. And you have to very carefully line this up so that your die does not extend beyond your acrylic plate, because if it does, then it's going to hit the sides of the rollers and it will get bent. You could say, and how do you know that, Sherry? But I would be reluctant to admit how I know. And then I'm just going to put my top plate on. And we're going to try and get this rolled through. And since I am going through 2 layers, I am going to back it up also. Okay, hopefully you could see what I was doing there without my arms and hands being in the way. And then we will just get rid of this large, heavy thing. It's not that heavy, but I don't move it around a lot. Okay, and then we'll just pull this off. And there you have your pretty zigzag edge here. And then we're going to take our 1-inch piece of designer series paper, and I'm just going to run some adhesive along this edge. And I will take this, line it up, and then when you close it, you have this look here with both sides of your designer series paper. Then I will take my scissors, trim off that side, and I went over a little bit on this side, so just trim it off. That way everything is covered on the bottom, there's no white showing. Okay. And now I think we'll just get our stamping out of the way very quickly, get that done. So I have Thinking of You Today, and again we're using the, today for the ink I'm actually using Pecan Pie, just to give it a little bit of contrast. It is very close to the same as Copper copper clay, but I just decided I'd switch it up a little bit. And so I'm going to bring this up here, use my grid lines to help me keep it straight. Going to ink it up. Again, keeping in mind I have a very juicy pad, and I'm praying that my head doesn't get in the way. Okay, it's very dark, but it will lighten a little bit. Okay, and then we'll do our envelope with the same stamp set. Same stamp, sorry. Okay, then you have this little tiny piece of basic white. It's a 2x3, and we are going to stamp our front message, which is, may the Lord bless and keep you. I wish that for all of you and myself. And I just kind of centered it on here. And there we go. We are done with the stamping. Pardon me just a minute. I have to take a wee bit of drink of water. We've had actually three very cool, wonderful days here. Today is going to be another kind of cool day, but then things are going to change and go back to a little bit of heat, but not like what we had prior to our break. Okay, now we can get started. So with your 3 by 4 1/4 piece of copper clay, this is going to be the biggest die from, does this look right, or did I not bring over the right size? Let me check. Yep, it's not. I forgot to bring over one die, but no, never fear. We have a die, and we are going to have, it's going to end up being like this, and this one is too small. So this is the next size up on that one. So we have that one cut. Then we have our polka dot one and our may the Lord truly bless you. And I've forgotten more than one die. Did I bring it over? I did. Okay, hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Thought I had this all laid out this morning. All right, so this is the one. Sorry, this is the one for the copper clay, and this is actually the 5th one, numbering from the middle. Then we have this one, which is for our hearts. It goes like that. And then we have this one, which is for our polka dots. And as I say, I've cut all of this, and then we have this little tiny one for may the Lord bless and keep you, and it just kind of fits, but it looks very nice. Okay, so as I have already done these, we are set and ready to go. Okay, so first of all, we'll just put our layers on, and first layer is the heart pattern. And again, I lined it up on my grid paper, and I just tried, you have a little bit of a fairly decent border on these, so it's not real hard to get them on there straight. Okay, and then we do our polka dot pattern. So what I like to do with my classes is my first 2 cards are usually a little bit more complicated, and then I tried to finish up with one that's fairly simple. Doesn't take much stamping and maybe some layering, but just a little bit more on the simple side. And it's a bit of a struggle to get masculine cards done. I had to do some thinking with my brain to get some of these figured out. So here is our saying, and I am going to pop these up. This is the only part of the card that I even popped up. with our wonderful Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. Okay, and then this we are going to center again as best we can in the middle. Okay, and then this, and I should have really put this on the front before I did my dimensionals, but I did not, so we'll just squish them down a little bit with the adhesive and get it on the front. And just kind of eyeball this, center it as best you can. There we go, and then we have to put on some of our embellishments. And you could leave these off if you don't feel they're appropriate for a masculine card. I just thought it needed a little bit of something, and I thought this brown color would be okay. So I used one of the larger ones, then I did one of the medium-sized ones, and one of the itty-bitty ones. Right there. It does still give us 3, and it does give us a very tight triangle, but we do have a triangle. Then the only other thing left to do is to take our envelope flap, put some glue along the edges. I didn't bring my tiny one over here. I'd rather use that tiny applicator, but I didn't bring it over, so today we're just using the bigger one. And we will put that on there, and after it dries a little bit, I will, of course, trim it down along the edges here, but I'm going to let it set for a little bit. So here is our card that we just completed, and here's our card that I brought over as a sample. I hope you enjoyed these cards. I hope if you're looking for some masculine cards, this layout could be used for anything, but it is a very nice, quick, easy layout for, especially for masculine cards if you use the proper colors. So thank you so much for taking part of your day or evening or whatever time you're watching this. I appreciate it so very much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your time, and may God bless each and every one of you, and I will see you real soon. Bye-bye.